Back here talking Clippers, Mavericks, Game 6. LA with a chance to close out the series. No Kristaps Porzingis again for Dallas, but Luka gave him everything he had in his absence. 38 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Just a great series for Luka. Wasn't enough, though, as the Clippers, behind 33 and 14 out of Kawhi, still prevailed. Clippers now move on to face the winner of the Nuggets-Jazz series in round 2. Nick, we'll start with you. What did Kawhi and the Clippers prove by closing out the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games?
Clippers proved very little. Kawhi confirmed what he's shown over the last few years, which is he is one of the most consistent and one of the scariest playoff performers in the league. And Kawhi was the one constant for this very up and down Clippers team. But just look around the league. Look at the best teams in basketball. The Lakers played the Blazers, beat them in 5. The Bucks played the Magic, beat them in 5. The Raptors played the Nets, beat them in 4. The Celtics played the Sixers, beat them in 4. And then there's the Clippers playing a team whose second best player only played 10 quarters of the series, whose best player hurt his ankle in game 2 of the series, and it's in his first playoff series, whose rotation is Trey Burke and Seth Curry and Boban and Tim Hardaway Jr., and we're in a tight game in the 4th quarter of Game 6 before you finally pull away, despite the fact that your superstar did everything you could possibly ask him to do. And in Game 6, Kawhi even played brilliant defense for the first time all series. So in my opinion, Brandon, you got to kind of evaluate it through 2 prisms. The prism of Kawhi being absolutely spectacular, and the prism of the Clippers still not knowing what they're going to get from Paul George, not knowing the Jekyll or Hyde version of Reggie Jackson's going to show up, not knowing the level of intensity, and with Patrick Beverley still hurt. So, like, I was very, very impressed by Kawhi being excellent. I was less than impressed with the Clippers overall, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, that 4th quarter made me go back and do my due diligence. I mean, there's a lot of headlines throughout this bubble, and guys are being overshadowed. You know, there's the Celtics that we haven't talked much about. The Raptors, AD went for 43 points on Saturday, and he's still not talked about. And then Kawhi Leonard, that 4th quarter, and you said it, Mr. Consistent. This guy has started the series hot and ended this series hot, and it shows that he is the most consistent player in the NBA. He starts the series with 29, then he follows it up with 35, and then 36, 32, 32, and then just closes out with 33. And not only that, he's diving on the floor. He's showing great leadership, cursing out his players. We've never seen Kawhi really do that, telling players that I didn't give up the damn ball for you to do that. Like, this guy single-handedly willing his team to victory. Now, Paul George overshadowed Kawhi. Luka overshadowed Kawhi. Marcus Morris and his great defense and his toughness overshadowed Kawhi. It's time for us to put respect on this guy's name.
Great defense. In the course of this show, Marcus Morris has been the big winner. Great defense. Look, in the 4th quarter, I don't think we were ever really worried about it, Nick. I agree with Paul George after the game. Paul George said he was Mr. Reliable, and I agree. Take a listen.
Time after time, you know, whenever we needed him, he put us on his back. He finished the series. I can't say it enough. I mean, after the series, he is the most reliable guy. You know, his shot making, his time on, you know, just awareness plays. He's just one of a kind.
Thanks for validating.
Being reliable is hard to market. It's not the coolest thing in the world to be reliable, but it's a nice thing to have. And the other thing is, like, he shows up in the playoffs. Points are up, rebounds up, assists are up. He's shooting better and he's taking more shots. So when you talk about reliability, I just feel like the Clippers are in good hands when Kawhi's got the ball, Nick.
Well, 100%. And by the way, if you threw up what the numbers looked like in 2017, the year Zaza maimed him in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, I'm sure Brandon would say that was a good closeout and good defense. Or in 2019, last year, when they won the title, it's the same thing. That Kawhi goes from being like an A- level player in the regular season to an A to an A+ player in the postseason. And I know that brings back the load management debate. Is that does the load management lead to that? Is that what he needs to do? I still hate the load management. I still hate it. But listen, Brandon, I have to give him credit. I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't want to do the load management thing. I just want to give Kawhi credit because Game 6 was a masterpiece. He playmade, and he's not a great playmaker. He had 5 steals, which is a massive number. And every time it felt like the Mavs were making a little run, he answered. So he was spectacular, Brandon. And I think you're right that there should be a brighter light shown on what he did in this first round.
You don't have to go to load management, but I will really quickly, all right? It's not about entertaining you guys in a regular season. It's about championships. This is what he did last year. This is what he's doing this year. And this is why these guys have an opportunity to put another ring on Kawhi's finger.
All right. Clippers now move on to face the winner of the Nuggets-Jazz series. Let's talk some Lakers-Blazers now to close out the show. Game 5 from Saturday, Blazers without Damian Lillard and thus without a real chance against the top seed in the West. Not when Anthony Davis gives you 43. Not when LeBron goes 36, 10, and 10. Lakers winning a playoff series for the first time since 2012. It's been a minute. Nick, what impressed you most about the Lakers in this game?
Well, I mean, just overcoming the adversity of being the inferior team, clearly, and being down 1-0 in the series. I want to give you 5 names, and they're 5 names everybody knows, okay? You've got Colin Cowherd, Emmanuel Acho, Adam Shine, Paul Pierce, Stephen A. Smith. Those are 4 of the best to ever do this, and Paul Pierce, all of whom either picked the Blazers to win or explained how the Blazers had a better roster, or Barkley as well. I should have included Barkley. I left out Chuck, my bad. So now we have 5 of the best to ever do it, plus Paul Pierce. So all those folks explaining how the Lakers were in trouble, the Blazers either have a better roster or a better starting lineup. Lakers can't guard Dame. LeBron looks a little old. The shooting's terrible. Wild said they were a broken down Ford Pinto on the side of the road on fire. All these things. And then, color me shocked, Brandon. Good God, that's playoff LeBron's music. And in a series that it felt like he only got his car into 4th gear a couple times.
Nick. Dame dislocated his finger. They weren't. No, they weren't.
They were down
Dame was the biggest storyline
when he dislocated his finger. They were down 35 in Game 4 when he dislocated his finger.
Are you serious? 100%. The series is different. Now, do they win it? I don't know. But does it go to Game 6, Game 7? Possibly. 100%.
Oh, my God.
For me, here's the things that jumped out for me. All right, number 1 was AD. Another guy overshadowed by all these other topics like Dame being the best player in the bubble during the restart. That's 1. Number 2, remember, this was the guy LeBron wanted. They patiently waited for AD. There was two questions surrounding him. Will he come to LA? 1. And number 2, will they fit? How does this work? 2 superstars in gelling. And it speaks to LeBron's humility. It speaks to LeBron's willingness to get others involved. I thought they answered number 2 Saturday night in the second quarter. Their chemistry was on full display. We're talking about old school Stockton and Malone, the pick and roll, getting buckets in the paint, playing defense, knocking down shots on the perimeter. I thought LeBron did a magical job with the ball in his hands. We always hear about LeBron being this genius and this boy wonder when it comes to his mentality and his mindset and how he understands the game like no other. LeBron James showed that. This is Magic. This is Kobe. This is Stockton. A lot of people see that last play and think about, oh, that's a breakdown of defense. That was LeBron James patiently waiting for the defense to spread out. This was spacing. This was timing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, good tackle. No, that was McGee doing his job.
Real quick,
open field tackle.
Brandon, before we wrap up the show, Wilds, your beloved Blazers, who are a 3 or a 4 seed, win healthy, as you and everyone else said, the most dangerous 8 seed ever. Now, after seeing what LeBron did to them, you're blowing them up, right? Because this is what happens. Teams are dangerous. LeBron eviscerates them, and then we fire coaches or trade players. So are you trading CJ or are you firing Terry Stotts? What are you doing? Because I know you're doing one of them.
Stick up for your team, buddy. It's your team, buddy.
I was in a rental car Blazer fandom. Do I think this team can win a championship as currently constructed? Obviously not. Once the Warriors get back in there, too, are they content being a 4 seed, or do they really want to make a move? I still like them, but I returned my Blazers rental car.
To blow up the Blazers in 2 weeks.
I'm not saying blow them up.
It's unbelievable.
I'm saying make a move.
Blow them up.
I'm saying make a move.
All right, we got to go. Have a great day,
and Trevor
everyone.
Reason will be
Stay
back.
safe.
What
We'll
about
see
Trevor
you tomorrow
Reason,
and
Nick?
do it all over again.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy. Let's go face to face. I embrace debate. I don't make mistakes. I just make my case. Drop mic when I'm done. One more can I say? Not bite to my tongue. I don't like the taste. I'm on and I'm on and I own my opponent. I'm always in the zone, either zoned out of zone, and then we could get it poppin'. Pick the topic if you want to skip and shine and skip and hoppin'. Took these sports and made them pop it. All right, undisputed.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys. How we doing this fine Monday?
Good morning.